Coming up, looking to the future by learning from the past. The field that made the Tuskegee Airmen pilots is producing tomorrow's leaders.
And there are plenty of jobs for them, now hiring at the Northwest Aviation Conference.
Plus, STEM education with help from You Can Fly. AOPA Live this week begins in just a moment.
Purchasing your own aircraft is an exciting experience. AOPA Finance simplifies the process, saving you money with lower interest rates and hassle-free loans, so you get into your new aircraft sooner. AOPA Finance, the right approach to buying an aircraft.
This is AOPA Live This Week with Tom Haynes and Alyssa Cobb.
February is Black History Month, and aviation is much richer and more advanced than it would be without the contributions of African Americans have made over the years. Most notable among aviators of color are perhaps the Tuskegee Airmen. Their legacy continues today. And AOPA Live's Josh Cochran brings us the story about an organization in Alabama building on the legacy of these remarkable aviators.
The year 1941. The War Department starts an experiment. Do black aviators have what it takes to serve in the military? Key military leaders at the time didn't think so. But the first black military aviators, known as the Tuskegee Airmen, went on to defy expectations, and their heroic performance in World War II helped to pave the way for future black aviators. Now, nearly 80 years later, there's a new group of black aviators taking to the skies at the same field where the Tuskegee Airmen learned how to fly, Moton Field in Tuskegee, Alabama. These students are building on the legacy and inspiration of the Tuskegee Airmen.
What's not inspiring about the Tuskegee Airmen? Like literally, if you say Tuskegee Airmen, I mean, people think about heroes.
All of our students firmly believe that the legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen is not in a museum, but it's in the hearts of future aviators.
The flight training here in Tuskegee is funded by the Red Tail Scholarship Foundation. The goal? Increase the number of black pilots and aviation mechanics.
The African American pilot percentage is less than 2%, so that's what the Red Tail Scholarship Foundation is here for, is to increase that African American percentage.
The foundation is inspiring black aviators by raising awareness about aviation careers and providing funds for flight and maintenance training.
That exposure is really key, because then you start thinking, I can actually be a pilot. Wow, I know someone in my community who's a pilot.
What we're set out to do is make it known to everyone, like, hey, we're doing it, you can do it too, and we're going to help you. All you have to do is show up.
And when the students show up here, they're expected to work hard and strive for excellence. But they get a lot of help along the way. The program is all about students mentoring and supporting each other.
My definition of success is, what position am I in to offer something to others? What can I do to help out someone else and give them opportunities that I once had to get where I am now? I'm literally passing on a legacy that was passed on to me.
And the legacy is especially important for mechanic Craig Moore. He is building on a multi-generational family legacy built here at Moton Field.
William J. Childs, my great uncle, was the chief mechanic for the Tuskegee program from 1946 to 1949 here at Moton Field. It's kind of just in my blood that I have a mechanical inclination because I have pilots, mechanics, engineers in my family, and they grew me.
But even for students who don't have a family connection, the legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen drives them to excellence and a desire to make a difference.
The Tuskegee Airmen, they're the reason why I wake up every day and do what I do. They're the reason why I work hard. I wouldn't be here without them. We're going to continue that tradition and keep on working hard, and hopefully we can make them proud.
Josh Cochran, AOPA Live.
Well, what an inspiring program. You can find out how to apply for the scholarship at the Red Tail Scholarship Foundation website. Well, let's jump all the way to the other side of the country where Tom Haynes is enjoying the sun in Northern California. Tom, what's happening out there?
Hey, hello, Alyssa. Well, here we are in sunny Sunnyvale, California. Southern end of the San Francisco Bay, heart of Silicon Valley, and hey, just a short eVTOL flight from Googleplex, maybe someday. But most importantly, we are in the shadow of Moffett Field, home of the famed NASA Ames Research Center. And this week, it is home to the Go Fly Prize final competition. Boeing has funded this competition to encourage teams and individuals to build personal flying aircraft. 5 finalists are competing for more than $1.5 million in prize money. They'll publicly fly their designs Friday and Saturday, and we'll know which is the winning design, and we'll have a report from here next week. But hey, last weekend we were in Puyallup, Washington for the Northwest Aviation Conference. This event has been attracting pilots in the Pacific Northwest for some 37 years, and it's a great way to get ready for spring flying. This year we were pleased to see a continuing focus on young aviators. One nonprofit program serves high school kids from some 12 school districts around Puyallup and Tacoma. Teen Flight Puyallup gives kids the opportunity to build and fly Vans RV-12s. The kids commit up to 5 hours a week building the aircraft, and after meeting their work commitment, guess what? They can learn to fly at no cost. Pretty amazing.
Now have our first airline captain. So for SkyWest, and then we have 3 others now that are instructors, building up time, waiting to get into the airlines. Others are going through flight training schools outside of our program now that they've graduated.
But even if kids don't go on to an aviation career, Teen Flight is valuable training.
I'm looking to potentially be a commercial airline pilot or actually go into architecture, and that's still very important to know how to work off of plans and build things and work with other people. So either way, no matter where I go, this is a really helpful program for that.
Teen Flight kids are now building the 6th and 7th aircraft. They sell the aircraft to help raise money for the continuing program.
Really cannot describe the sense of pride that I have in seeing the plane that I helped contribute to take off, and then now also have been painted. The paint job really adds a nice touch. But thinking that the pilot is using controls that I helped configure and set up is pretty epic.
It's a great opportunity for youth to learn about aviation and building airplanes.
So Tom, I understand that they were also looking to encourage young folks on the technical side of aviation.
That's right, they were actually hosting an A&P competition. Students from 8 colleges and technical schools brought in 10 different programs to test one another on, and they competed against it. It was pretty fun to watch.
That's why you have wheels and brakes, you have troubleshooting, you have safety wire, a lot of these different types of things. There's one here for precision measurement, for power plant. These are all activities that an A&P mechanic student would be expected to do during his course of study at the school.
I think it's really good experience, especially because a lot of these projects are related to our OMP, which is our oral and practical for our airframe and power plant tests.
Pat Murphy echoes what we've been told before. There's a tremendous need now for aviation mechanics. You can spend about 2 years studying at a technical school or community college and then immediately get a job at $15 to $25 an hour and quickly go up from there. And it's also a great opportunity for women.
And women getting into the aircraft mechanics field really have an advantage. For one thing, they can learn a skill and do it faster and better than the typical guy can. I've seen this over and over in my training activities, that they'll learn the skill, and then when they start doing it on their own, they do it better than most guys will.
And many organizations are looking to hire more women into typically male-dominated careers.
Woo! All right. Go ladies. I guess that means, Tom, maybe I should get some more training on working on the 170, and I'll be a better help to my husband when he's doing maintenance on it.
Yeah, well, what do you mean help? You could just take over at that point.
Right, yeah, I'll just speed right by him.
And those students learning to build airplanes will be able to find a job, hey, 1 state away down at Epic Aircraft. I had the chance to fly the sleek single-engine turboprop from Puyallup to the factory in Bend, Oregon this week. There, some 300 employees are working hard to ramp up production of the newly certificated Speedster. During my flights in the experimental LT model, I saw speeds as high as 320 knots, true airspeed at 27,000 feet, burning 62 gallons an hour of jet fuel. The production E1000 models may be a little faster and will fly higher. Some of that speed comes from the low drag production process that utilizes carbon fiber throughout the airframe, creating ultra smooth curved surfaces on a lightweight airframe. Pratt Whitney powered 6-seater received FAA type certification November 6th. Look for a report on the new Traveler in the coming months after we get a chance to fly the production model. And back at the Northwest Aviation Conference, we're seeing something that we're seeing more and more often at events like this: airline recruiters. In this case, SkyWest was one of several airlines at the show looking to fill their pilot pipelines, and SkyWest has a program to help you get your foot in the door.
A lot of our prospects are asking about our pilot pathway program to become cadets with SkyWest Airlines, which means that anybody that has a certified flight instructor certificate, whether it be rotorcraft or glider or even a fixed wing certificate, can join the program, and it locks in a seniority number for them while they're building time with whatever flight school, or perhaps they're 135 or cargo, but it's a seniority number for them, and it's no contract and no commitment for them. That's the biggest draw right now.
SkyWest flies regional jets for United and Delta, and get this, they aren't just looking for 20-somethings.
We've hired somebody at 64. Yeah, we don't discriminate. We need pilots.
And so, Alyssa, it's great to see that pilots of pretty much any age have opportunities to maybe become a professional pilot these days.
Yeah, you know, we hear from so many people where they say, oh, you know, if the times have been different, I wish that I would have, you know, done this, I would have pursued a, you know, professional career path. And it's like, well, hey, here's your chance, do it now.
Absolutely. Hey, and while the demand for pilots is growing, some airlines are so desperate for pilots that they're shutting down. Transstate Airlines is a regional carrier flying as United Express. They told their staff this week that the company is no longer sustainable. The airline plans to cease operations by the end of the year. Company leaders cite the shortage of captains willing to work for them as a major reason for the decision. Well, that's it for us here from the Northwest. But Alyssa, I wanted to say, hey, we have a lot of viewers out here in the Northwest, and thank you to all you who are at the Northwest Aviation Conference who stopped by to say hello. It's always great to catch up with you and hear more about what you're flying and what you're doing. We really appreciate the interaction with you. Next week, we'll bring you a story from the Boeing Go Fly competition that is here later in the week, and we'll have lots more news as well. Alyssa?
Thanks, Tom. We'll see you back here next week. New technology sweeping the high-end single-engine world is landing at TBM, literally. Garmin's Autoland system is being evaluated for integration in new TBMs, the company calling it HomeSafe. Much like in other platforms, it integrates weather, traffic, and terrain information to select the optimum airport for landing, considering conditions such as fuel range, distance, and runway length. Well, if you fly a Cessna 210, there's an airworthiness directive you should know about. The AD will require inspections of over 1,500 early model 210s for carry-through spar corrosion. The AD comes after a wing separation accident in 2019. You can read more about it on our website. The Air Safety Institute released a new accident case study about a Learjet crash that killed both pilots on approach to Teterboro. The video examines the pilot's actions and discusses lessons learned from this commercial flight gone wrong.
As GA pilots, we can reflect on this accident and the lessons it provides to better understand the importance of a focused cockpit, how quickly situational awareness can erode, and the dangerous consequences when it does. It also reinforces the importance of surrounding ourselves with a strong safety culture that can help us manage risks, guide our decisions, and provide means of accountability.
You can find the full video on the Air Safety Institute YouTube channel. Coming up, a STEM program kicks off and a go, no-go list of meds from the feds coming right at the peak of flu season. But first, we have some sad news now. Friends and family and colleagues are mourning the loss of one of aviation's leaders. Matt Zaccaro is the immediate past president of the Helicopter Association International. He passed away this week. AOPA is joining many other groups in offering sincere condolences to his loved ones. He learned to fly in the Civil Air Patrol as a teen and went on to serve in Vietnam as a helicopter pilot. He led HAI from 2005 until January. Another loss this week. She took us to the moon while dealing with segregation and discrimination. Katherine Johnson is responsible for the orbital mechanics calculations that made many of our early space flights happen. Her life was chronicled in the 2016 film Hidden Figures. Johnson faced racism and sexism, only to defiantly become known as a human computer among the NASA crowd. She earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2015 and a Congressional Gold Medal in 2019. Katherine Johnson was 101 years old. We'll be right back.
There are many important things to consider before purchasing an aircraft. Let the experts at Aerospace Reports help guide you through the process. We combine expert knowledge with our long-standing commitment to personalized customer service to perfect your transaction. Learn more at aerospacereports.com.
Welcome back. The AOPA You Can Fly program has a proven track record of increasing the pilot population, and one of the 4 pegs of the program is the AOPA High School Aviation STEM curriculum. Now, right now, more than 5,000 students across the country are using the material. And another school just launched their aviation STEM program. Hereford High School, north of Baltimore, is celebrating. Drones and sims and lots of STEM activities are center stage at the kickoff event. Local, state, and federal officials joined You Can Fly staff to help mark the occasion. The program will empower young people to start down the path toward great careers. And Gianna Patty is a senior who's on track to accomplish her dreams.
My ideal job would most likely be working for NASA or Boeing or Northrop Grumman, one of the big aviation or aerospace companies.
Now, 161 schools in 34 states use the AOPA curriculum. The You Can Fly program is funded entirely by donations to the AOPA Foundation. You can be a part of making these programs happen. Visit aopafoundation.org. May of 2020 marks 75 years since the victory in Europe during World War II. And there are many events slated to honor the monumental anniversary. Foremost among them is the Arsenal of Democracy flyover. It's a collection of World War II aircraft that will fly over the National Mall. Part of the commemoration will include a gala. The Arsenal of Democracy Victory Gala will take place at the historic Signature Aviation Hangar 7 at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport on Thursday, May 7th. Now, it will be a unique opportunity for you to hear first-hand accounts of World War II battles and experiences from World War II veterans who will be interviewed by award-winning broadcast journalist David Hartman. That is an event you don't want to miss. Find out more on the Flyover website. Well, just in time for peak flu season, the FAA has released a go, no-go list of over-the-counter medications. You can find a link to the list on our website, but the answers are pretty obvious. If a medication has active ingredients that could make you tired or lapse your judgment, it's a no-go. But there are many OTC things that are perfectly fine to take and then fly. But the big question here is, are you really fit to fly if you only feel well enough while taking the meds? Remember, under FAR 6153, we must self-evaluate each time. The list can be a helpful guide, though. Bell is using electric propulsion in a traditional helicopter design. The company just released this video of a Bell 429 flying with a completely electric tail rotor. The system uses 4 electric motors. Bell says it reduces noise pollution, carbon emissions, and operating cost. Well, Sikorsky landed a second contract to upgrade the presidential helicopter fleet. The company will build 6 VH-92A presidential helicopters for the U.S. Navy. The helicopters are a modified version of the civilian S-92. Eventually, the Navy plans to replace all 19 of the aging helicopters currently used in the presidential fleet. And the French are using helicopters for an unusual mission. Get this, they're moving snow at a ski resort. A resort in the Pyrenees used a helicopter for several hours, airlifting tons of snow. Unusually high temperatures at the resort caused the snow to melt early in the season. I can't imagine how much those lift tickets are going to cost. That's our show this week. Leave us your thoughts in the comments or by email, and we'll see you next Thursday.